Hi, I'm Karina with Southern Oklahoma Realty, your Ardmore, Oklahoma real estate agent. And today I'm going to just talk to you about a few things to do in Ardmore, about kind of how the market is, the economy, the reasons why I moved here, the reasons why people move here, the number of people that move here. Just if you're looking in, if you're going to be moving this area, I'm just going to fill you in on the things that you need to know before you move here. While Ardmore is not one of the it's not just growing by leaps and bounds, it is a steady increase of population. For the last couple of years, it's grown by about 1%. Just through my own research, like asking people, oh, what made you move to Ardmore? A lot of people do move here due to family. I will say that it is growing, as I used to come here as a child and it wasn't really that big. There wasn't a ton of stuff. It was bigger than where I grew up, but it was still pretty small. And recently, now we have a Chick-fil-A. There's an academy. You have the things that you need. We're getting at Albertsons, a big Albertsons. We have a Walmart, So it has all the things that you need. The great thing about Ardmore, Oklahoma, is its location. It is right in between the two cities, Oklahoma City and Dallas, Texas. So you can go either direction, an hour and a half, and have some great entertainment, a night out, a weekend out, and not even go very far. And you have options to choose from. Closer, there's water bodies, there's lakes. We have Lake Murray, just about 20 minutes away. Then we got Lake Texoma, which is about an hour and a half away. So there's a lot, during the summer, that's kind of the big event around here. People will, and I had somebody tell me, there's not much to do in Ardmore. There's not a ton of just like local entertainment, but I will say, in the summer, that's what everybody does. Just 20 minutes in one direction, there is Turner Falls, which is beautiful. And that's a big tourist attraction. And then about 20 to 30 minutes in the other direction, there's Lake Murray, which is also, that's where a lot of people go during the summer to have fun, to do their barbecues, to go swimming, boats. And then an hour and a half away, you have Lake Texoma. So there is plenty of water bodies around. You've got creeks and streams for fishing. So if fishing and outdoorsy things is your thing, then Ardmore might be the place for you. We also have a local farmers market that meets on Saturdays typically, so you can get your fresh grown vegetables. They have treats. There's all kinds of things out there that are just kind of more natural, so that it gives you an organic place to go. The overall feel of Ardmore, I would say, the climate of the people is, so when I moved here from Texas, and actually I was in Little Rock for 2 years before I moved here, but the majority of my life was spent in Texas. And the environment of both of those places, I would say overall, was just very friendly. And so when I moved to Oklahoma, I do feel like it was a little bit harder to kind of break people's shells. But I will say that once you get in there and they open up to you, you create long-lasting friendships. There's a lot of farming in this area. So while Ardmore itself has a population of 25,007 people, it's the city. Around the surrounding locations, there's a lot of farming. There's Lone Grove, there's Dixon, there's Springer, and if you go a little bit further, there's Sulphur and Davis. So there's lots of surrounding smaller towns, and in between there's a lot of farming. Like I live in Springer, and really Springer is a school, a gas station, a post office, and lots of farming, lots of cattle, things like that. So it's a really nice place, really quiet place. If you're thinking about bringing your family here, there's several school choices. There is the Ardmore School, and then each little subdivision outside, each other little town outside of it, there's Wilson, Dixon, Springer, Davis, Sulphur. All of those have schools too that are great options for your children. Mine personally go to Springer, and it was good for them because we moved here and they had either gone to private schools or been homeschooled the majority of their life. So Springer was a great option for us because not only was it smaller, like what they were kind of used to, and it's been good with friends. The environment's been great, and the teachers are friendly. The weather here, well, it depends on where you're from and what you're gonna think about it. So I grew up a Texas girl, really hot. Some places were humid, or some places were incredibly dry. I would say that Ardmore in Oklahoma, this area, is somewhere right in between, where it's not too hot, not too cold, and it's definitely not too humid, but it's also not too dry. So it's actually been a really good place as far as the weather goes. The summers are hot, the winters are mild. There has been some really cold winters winters, but it's not going to be anything crazy. Like actually, if you just go an hour and a half north to Oklahoma City, the winters are a lot worse. So the location is actually really good. It's in a sheltered place where you're not going to get the worst of the worst. Tornadoes. It does happen to be close to Tornado Alley. Oklahoma is notorious for its tornadoes. However, since I've been here almost 3 years, most of the time the activity kind of ends up being around the city. I don't want to speak too soon, but like it's either a little bit north of us or a little bit south. It hits the cities like Oklahoma City, Dallas, and then it's hit some little areas outside of the town as well. But for the most part, I feel like we must be kind of like in a little area where the Arbuckle Mountains shield us on one side, and then we're just a little further away from that sort of activity on the other side. So we're 30 minutes from the Texas border. And this video specifically is primarily for those that would be moving in and not sure what to expect whenever you get here. I moved from, like I said, I moved from Little Rock about almost 3 years ago, and when I moved here, I wasn't really sure, you know. My first initial thoughts on Ardmore was it's a nice little town. It has pretty much everything that you need, and it's pretty quiet. The locals are friendly and nice. It gives you that smaller town feel, but with the benefits of the city. One question that a lot of people want to know about a city that they're moving to is what are the churches and the schools and the hospitals like? And while I only have experience with a couple of the schools, what I've heard from the other locals that I work with that have kids, you know, the schools, there's lots of great options for schools. The hospitals have great service. I've had to go a couple of times to visit for different reasons, and I will say it was always a quick in and out, whereas I've been in hospitals before in emergency rooms where I was sitting there for, you know, it seemed like all night, like 6 to 9 hours. So there's quick service, friendly service, good service. As Oklahoma is part of the Bible Belt, there are lots of great choices when it comes to churches. You will be happy to know that the housing expenses are 37% lower than the national average, and the utilities are 5% lower. So, if you're moving to the area, I am your go-to girl to help you find that perfect home that's going to make this a lifelong place for you, or maybe just a transitional place. Maybe just an escape place. There's so many options. I will help you find that place. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Or if you would like to work with me, be sure to reach out to me at karinabethsellingit@gmail.com.